Hari Om students, Om Sri Chinmay Sadguru Namaha. In today's class, I am going to discuss with you about the second part of our India size and location. In our previous class, we discussed about our latitudes, longitudes, prime meridian of India, Indian Standard Time Zone, and world time zones. All we discussed in our previous class. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the main contribution of India and the relationship with the neighborhood countries of our country. This is our country, physical features of our country, and this all greenery in color is coastal plains, east coastal plains, and here west coastal plains, and here this sand in color Deccan Plateau or Peninsular Plateau, and here Chota Nagpur Plateau, and here Malwa Plateau, and this is a Thor desert of our country. So this entire green in color here, these are northern plains. So this green inland color, these are suitable for agriculture in our country. The Indian landmass has a central location between the east and the west Asia. So this is our Asia continent here, this entire. So our India takes place here, here Saudi Arabia, and here Afghanistan, China. So when we compare with these countries, our India is located central to that Asia. This side East Asia, and here it is West Asia. So in between our India located in central location. India is southward extension of the Asian continent. So see here, our India is completely located in the, it is like a tail part of our Asia continent. This is a southward extension to us. And the trans-Indian ocean routes which connect the countries of Europe in the west. So here these are the trans Indian ocean routes. These are the ocean routes connected with other nations for trading purpose especially. And in West and the countries of East Asia provided a strategic central location to India. So if you observe, these blue dot lines are sea routes. These blue dot lines are sea routes. So if you observe here, from European countries to Mumbai, from Mumbai to the African continent, and again from here to Sri Lanka, and again from Mumbai to other countries like Philippines, Japan, and all other countries have the sea routes with our country for the business purpose. Note that the Deccan Peninsula protrudes into the Indian Ocean, thus helping India to establish close contact with Asia, Africa, and Europe from the western coast, and with Southeast and East Asia from the eastern coast. See here, this side if you observe, here Africa continent, and if you observe here, with West Asia like Arabian countries, Iran, Iraq, and Afghanistan. And if you observe here in European countries, so European countries also, these all Turkey, these all are European countries. We have the sea routes with that country also. And no other country has a long coastline in the Indian Ocean as India has, and indeed it is India's dominant position in the Indian Ocean which justify the naming of an ocean after it. So because of our India uh, country, so in this ocean also named as Indian Ocean. So these are the sea routes and these are the air routes. So we especially these sea routes are very helpful to us for trading purpose, children. So here, do you know, since the opening of the Suez Canal in 1869, India's distance from Europe has been reduced by 7,000 kilometers. Earlier, before Suez Canal here, so this European people have to cross entire Africa continent. After that they need to come to our India because of this Suez Canal. So the distance between India and European continents decreased by 7,000 kilometers. Now I am going to show you what is Suez Canal. Here it is Suez Canal, children. So if you observe here, this is London, United Kingdom or Britain. So earlier, these people have to travel from London to and have to cross entire Africa continent here, and they after crossing Madagascar Islands and they enter into India, Mumbai. See here. So how many kilometers total? 19,800 kilometers they need to travel to reach our country before this Suez Canal. After what happened, European they started one canal in between London to India through the Red Sea. See here, from here onwards they have to cross the Mediterranean Sea here. This is what we call as Mediterranean Sea, which divides both the countries, Europe and Africa. This is Suez Canal. So from here onwards they enter Mediterranean Sea and they enters into Red Sea, and they travel through the Arabian Sea and reaches India. This is the distance of only 11,600 kilometers. So that nearly how many kilometers? They have 8,200 kilometers nearly. The distance decreased between London and Mumbai because of the construction of the Suez Canal. This is the canal. By using this canal, they enter into our country. As I told that our India is located in the center of the world between East and the West Asia. The routes across the Indian Ocean which connect the countries of Europe in the west and the countries of East Asia provide a strategic central location to our country. The Deccan Peninsula helps India to establish close contact with West Asia, Africa and Europe from the western coast, and with South East and East Asia from the eastern coast. This is for your classwork purpose, children. Already explained this one. What is the size of our country area wise? See here, almost all top 10 biggest countries are there here in area wise. The first place goes to Russia. So as you know that Russia is the largest country in the world with less population than India. And the second place goes to Canada, also less population. It is located in North America. And third place goes to United States of America, and fourth place to China, and fifth place to Brazil in South America, and sixth place goes to Australia, and the seventh place goes to our India. Seventh place in area wise, second place in population wise. All big countries are there, but they have only less population, whereas the China placed in fourth place as well as India in seventh place, but the world's highest population is located in China, after that in India. So only the entire nation's population nearly 20% shared by only our countries here. And eighth place goes to Argentina here in South America, and next place goes to Kazakhstan here, Kazakhstan neighboring country of China, and next place 10th place goes to Algeria. So here it is Algeria, it is located in Africa. These are the top 10 countries in area wise, largest countries in the world. You see here area in square kilometers. So in Russia, so 17.09%, and Canada 9.98%, USA 9.62%, whereas China 9.59%, Brazil 8.51%, Australia 7.69%, whereas our India takes place 3.28% of the world's land. The land routes of India are much older than the sea route. As you know that before only we have land routes. Various passes across mountains in the north have provided passages to the ancient travelers, as ocean limited such interaction for a long time. The land routes helps India in the exchange of ideas and commodities since the ancient time. So people of Arabian countries, they cross the Pakistan, they enter into the Thar desert. After that, they enter into our nation for the purpose of business. And from this side, from Bangladesh and world, so many of the people, they cross the many countries and enter into India by using land routes only before invention of the sea routes. And India have propagated the ideas of Upanishad and the Ramayana, stories of Panchtantra, the Indian numerals and the decimal system, as well as given spices, muslin and other merchandise to different countries, so that also the influence of Greek sculpture and the architecture of styles of dome and minarets from West Asia can be seen in different parts of India. So this because of this exchange of goods and commodities with other countries, the influence of Greek sculpture is there, influenced in our country, and the architectural styles of domes dome shape like masjids and minarets like Charminar, Qutub Minars. So the tallest constructions for these all coming from West Asia only because of Mughals, and these all a part of our country after the ruling of those rulers. See children, here this is our India map. Now I'm going to explain about the distance from Kanyakumari to, and here Jammu and Kashmir. Total we have 3214 kilometers distance from straightward Kanyakumari to Jammu and Kashmir. From here Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, 2933 kilometers distance. So this is our entire nation. And India, the landmass, what is the landmass? As I told now, 3.28 million square kilometers. And here India has 2.4% of the total land area of the world. And India is the 7th largest country of the world, and it has a boundary of about 15,200 kilometers here, coastal line, including Andaman and Nicobar Islands here and Lakshadweep Islands here. This is overall geographical features of our nation. The contribution of numerical systems, decimal points by our great astronomer and mathematician Aryabhatta, and the contribution of Panchtantra to the world, Ramayana, Upanishads and Mahabharata given a great contributions to the world. So whatever the spices, muslin and other merchandise is nothing but here business products, were taken from India to different countries. On the other hand, the influence of Greek sculpture, as I told, architectural styles of dome and minarets from West Asia can be seen in different parts of our country. So these are the major contribution of our India to the world. And here at the same time we exchange the cultures also. So they are following our Upanishads and Panchtantras, and our decimal points also spread all over the world, and decimal points and as well as the pi and everything exchange each other. So India is situated in southern part of Asia at the head of the Indian Ocean. It is the 7th largest country in the world. India is the only country after which an ocean is named with our country, one and only India. Neighboring countries of our India. India occupies an important strategic position in South Asia. India has present, as you know, the 28 states and along with 9 union territories. India share its land boundaries with here Pakistan, observe here the cursor, and here Afghanistan in north west. What is the location? Always we have to use the symbol like this. What is the direction here? North. Understood? So if it is north, this direction is now. This is what is this one? This is west, and here it is east, and here south, isn't it? So that here between north and west, this direction is northwest, and the direction between south and west, southwest, and here direction between north and east, northeast, and here the direction between south and east, southeast. Now coming to the northwest boundaries of our India, Pakistan and Afghanistan, and here Nepal and Bhutan is located in the north. Here this is a north director, exactly not here, and here uh, Myanmar and Bangladesh in the east direction. Here it is Myanmar and here it is Bangladesh. These two are located in east direction. Okay, and these are the neighboring countries of our India. Once again, and here in south direction we have Maldives, two island countries, Maldives, and here it is Sri Lanka. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are the 9 boundary neighboring countries of our India. So that because all these countries looks like merged with our nation, so that our India is called as subcontinent. Altogether subcontinent. It is like a continent here. Once again, the neighboring countries are Pakistan and Afghanistan in northwest direction, Nepal and China, here Bhutan here north direction, Bangladesh and Myanmar in east direction, and south it is Sri Lanka and Maldives. Two island nations are the neighboring countries of our India. And Sri Lanka is separated from India by narrow channel of sea formed by the Park Strait and the Gulf of Mannar. So here I will show you in the next picture that one. So the narrow channel between India and Sri Lanka is called as Park Strait, and here one more Gulf of Mannar. Here these two narrow channel of water separated the both nations here, whereas here Maldives islands are situated to the south of the Lakshadweep Islands. Here Lakshadweep Islands, so to the Lakshadweep Islands south side we have Maldives. Maldives also one of the island country. Okay, India has had strong geographical and historical links with her neighbors. Look at the physical map of Atlas and note how India stands apart from the rest of Asia. We will see. Relationship with other countries. How our country maintaining friendly relationship with other nations. India has a long frontier and coastal line. It shares boundaries with Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, China, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka. India has adopted a foreign policy of neutrality and non-involvement. So neutral, they never interfere in any matters. Non-involvement, they never involvement in any other country's personal matters too. It is neutral one. And India has cordial relations with the Asian countries. She was made a full-fledged dialogue partner in 1995. Here, why mention Bharata Mata? We are using our country with motherland. So that here she, the word she used because it is motherland of our people. So that use this her and she. Her relations with the Asian countries improved. India was also represented at the Asian Regional Forum Conference in Manila in the year 1998. So, Asian Southeast authorities. So, all the Asian South countries are formed as one leg, that is Asian Regional Forum. The relationship with our neighboring country, China. So now the most controversial thing is going on between India and China border. Recently, we lost our um, colonels and many our Indian army in this indirect war between India and China. So what are the ideas, 5 principles adopted in between India and China is here: mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty, and mutual non-aggression, mutual non-interference in each other's internal affairs, and equality and mutual benefit, peaceful coexistence. These are the 5 agreements, major principles uh, between India and China, but China violated all these mutual principles and they are ready to participate in war with India. Earlier in 1962, China attacked India in the northeast and occupied a part of Indian territory. If you observe how the eastern part of Jammu and Kashmir, almost all 50% Ladakh region is captured by China, and whereas here this side captured by Pakistan. West Jammu and Kashmir captured by Pakistan, and East Jammu and Kashmir is occupied by China. The war ended soon, but relations between India and China remained strained for a long time to come. The visits of the Indian Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi in the year 1988 and P.V. Narasimha Rao in 1993 to China have improved the situation to some extent, so that several trade agreements have also been signed, but it is not an easy task to restore peace and mutual trust between the two countries. So if you observe, most of the products in our country, many apps whatever we are using, many gadgets whatever we are using, present all are made in China with less empowerment, with less price and giving less quality. Due to the less price, most of the Indians habituated for Chinese products in our country. Now after the recent incidents and the things, our Indian government is very strongly opposed to use the foreign Chinese products and as well as the Chinese apps in our country. So if you observe here, this red line here, my children, this is what we call as a McMahon line. What we called as McMahon line, a border line between India and China, we called as McMahon line. Clear? Next one, relation with Nepal. What is India relation with Nepal? So being a small landlocked country, Nepal depends on India for economic support and transit facilities. Almost all her imports pass through Indian ports only. India has made a significant contribution to economic and social developments of Nepal. She built the 204 kilometers long Mahendra Raj Marg to link Kathmandu to India. Agreements have been signed for greater cooperation in trade, education, industrial development, and cultural exchange programs also. There are very few travel restrictions between India and Nepal because Nepalese workers are employed in India and Nepalese students study in Indian university. Because of the landscape, because of the physical features of the Nepal, for everything, for education, employment and trade activities and industrial development, for everything, Nepal depends on our country. Recently, at the time of earthquake, our India helped a lot. Crores of money invested to help Nepal people at the time of natural calamity. So here the India and Nepal border is an open international border running between India and Nepal. What is the total distance is 17,051 kilometers, whereas in miles it is 1,088. Long border includes the Himalayan territory as well as Indo-Gangetic plains. The current border was delimited after the Sagale Treaty of 1816 between Nepal and the British Raj following independence. The current border was recognized as the border between Nepal and the Republic of India. So total the length of this line is 1751 kilometers. There is no name for this one. Just we call as the India and Nepal border line. Coming to Sri Lanka, the relationship with Sri Lanka. India has cultural, historical, and religious ties with Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is facing a civil war in her northern provinces. A predominantly Tamil Hindu population of northern Sri Lanka started a movement demanding an independent state. This powerful separatist movement is led by the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Elam, so LTTE. So many of the Indians, our ancestors, they settled in Sri Lanka at the time of province time. So maximum of Tamil Hindu population is located in northern Sri Lanka, but the Sri Lankan government not given full-fledged independence or the opportunities, employment opportunities or educational opportunities or political opportunities to the people of India, Tamilians, so that they form the separate union, what we call as Liberation Tigers of Tamil Elam, that is LTTE. Mr. Prabhakaran as a captain. So present he is not there. So he was killed by the government army, official army of Sri Lanka. India, on the request of the government of Sri Lanka, sent a peacekeeping force there to restore normalcy. The Indian forces were withdrawn after 3 years, 1990, without restoring peace only. So, on the request of government of Sri Lanka, our Indian government sent our Indian force to maintain the peaceful environment in Sri Lanka, but our Indian government also failed in 1990. Again, they came back to our India. India wants Sri Lanka to find a solution to her conflict with the Tamils who are fighting for independence. Rajiv Gandhi himself became a victim of this unresolved crisis when he was assassinated in 1991. So cordial relations have been restored between the two countries as a member states of SAARC countries. Both countries are working together on developmental issues. Still, the people of the Hindu community of India in Sri Lanka, still they are fighting for their independence and equal opportunities along with the other Sinhalese, but not yet happened. So even our Rajiv Gandhi also lost his life due to this unresolved problem only in the year 1991. If you observe picture here, children, so here this line, what is this one? Park Strait. Park Strait that separates our India from Sri Lanka here, and here also one more. This is Gulf of Mannar, a small Gulf. Gulf of Mannar also separate our India from Sri Lanka. This is entire Sri Lanka. So what we call as Lakadiv Sea here. This is Thiruvananthapuram. So in between these two nations, we easily you can observe this one, McMahon line in China, and here Park Strait in Sri Lanka. Now coming to our part of India early before independence, and it is nothing but Pakistan. The relationship between India and Pakistan, nothing new to say. So we are the enemies from the born day of Pakistan. Literally, the two countries share the same historical, linguistic, and cultural heritage. At ever since independence, relations between the two countries are marked by hostilities. What is the Kashmir issue here? The Kashmir problem had begun from 1947 because this Pakistan want to occupy this Jammu and Kashmir also as a part of the Pakistan only, but the people of Jammu and Kashmir are not willing to add with Pakistan. Still they stay with our nation only. Recently the Article 370 abolished and completely Jammu and Kashmir divided into two union territories. And here, the Mountbatten Plan had given the Indian states the option of joining either India or Pakistan or remaining independent. When British left India, Pakistan attacked Kashmir and occupied a part of the Kashmir Valley. So they given one opportunity, British has given one opportunity to the Jammu and Kashmir. So either they can include in our India or with Pakistan, but they are not willing to do anything, so that they added in India, but they are following their own constitution, as you know, very up to very recently. Then immediately Pakistan attacked this Jammu and Kashmir and occupied this western part of Jammu and Kashmir, and they added into Pakistan. So if you observe this red mark here, children, this is Radcliffe partition line. That is in 1947 they draw one line between India and Pakistan, that is nothing but Radcliffe line, and here the same line divided Bangladesh from India. This one also East Pakistan, now it is called as Bangladesh. These two lines we called as Radcliffe partition line. The Maharaja of Kashmir decided to join India and signed the instrument of the accession. The Indian army moved into Kashmir and pushed back the invaders. After UN intervention, northwest Kashmir was controlled by Pakistan and the rest of the state was placed under Indian control. So, present this entire Jammu and Kashmir is a part of our India and announced as the Union Territories of India. After the partition of India and Pakistan, many times India and Pakistan they fought directly in wars. The first war in the year 1965, that is Indo-Pak War 1965. So in August 1965, Pakistan made another attempt to seize Kashmir. A war started after UN intervention. A truce was declared and an agreement, the Tashkent Agreement, what we signed in 1966, but cordiality and friendship were not established. Just with the intervention of the United Nations organization, at that time the war stopped. Again, in the year 1971, again one more war between India and Pakistan. Hostilities between India and Pakistan again started in 1971 when India helped Bangladesh to become independent. So in Bangladesh, most of the people are using Bengali, but whereas Pakistan announced Urdu as official language of Bangladesh, so that the people of Bangladesh don't want to be as a part of Pakistan. At that time, India helped to Bangladesh to get independence from Pakistan. So because of that, again one more war between India and Pakistan. By the Simla Agreement in the year 1972, Prime Minister at that time Indira Gandhi of India and ZA. So these people again they signed in the agreement, Simla Agreement. In Simla that one happened, so that Simla Agreement in 1972. Bhutto of Pakistan, President of Pakistan at that time, agreed to settle all problems peacefully. However, relations between India and Pakistan continue to remain strong. Many agreements between India and Pakistan, but again they are continuing the same policies till now. And one more war in the year 1999, Kargil War. War again broke out between the two countries when Pakistan occupied portions of Indian territory in the Kargil area in Jammu and Kashmir. India defeated Pakistan in that war. Again, relations between India and Pakistan further worsened because of Pakistani's involvement in terrorist activities in various parts of India, especially in the Punjab and Kashmir. This cross-border terrorism instigated by Pakistan is a grave threat to India's security. Restraint, understanding, and cooperation are needed for the establishment of lasting peace in this region. So, still now, many bomb attacks in India, Mumbai, or Kolkata. So many terrorist activities done because of the Pakistan. Pakistan given money and funds and the placement to the terrorists just to attack in our country. Still, these activities are going on. The relationship with Myanmar. Myanmar is also called as Burma, which was a part of British India at that time, became independent in the year 1948. Since India and Myanmar share common boundaries, they have to face problems of smuggling and illegal migration. Without permission, those people are settling in other countries. Rajiv Gandhi also visited Myanmar in 1987, and the two countries agreed to solve these problems through greater vigilance. India supports Aung San Suu Kyi. Here, the Nobel Peace Prize winner here, this person, and who is the leader of the democratic movement in Myanmar. So, our Mahatma Gandhi here Aung San Suu Kyi. So, he is the person who led the movement. Relationship with Maldives. The Republic of the Maldives, lying about 675 kilometers southwest of Sri Lanka, consists of more than 1200 small coral islands. In that, 199 islands are inhabited, grouped in 19 atolls in the northern Indian Ocean. The capital city of Maldives is Malé, and the country has presidential form of democratic government. The predominant religion is Islam. So they are following Islamism, and it is also one of the democratic government, but following presidential form, whereas in our country we are following parliamentary form of government. So for Maldives has no protection, hence India has provided defense to the Maldives. So India helps all their neighboring countries. As I told that our country is a part of South Asian Association. So the late President Ziaur Rahman of Bangladesh first proposed the setting up of a regional body. Countries held discussions on the need for cooperation among them and identified several areas where cooperation was urgently needed. Here the foreign minister of these 7 South Asian countries studied this proposal. The first the SAARC countries Asian Summit held in Dhaka, Bangladesh in 1985 marked the formation of the SAARC countries only. So because he is the person who who wants to create one association only for South Asian countries. What are the main objectives of this movement? The Dhaka Declaration states its objectives as the making of the full use of all the human and natural resources and accelerate the economic and social development of the region. So the main objective is to fulfill the human and natural resources and to increase the economic and social development of the developing nations of Asia continent especially. These are some major objectives of SAARC countries. First one is strengthening economic cooperation so as to improve the quality of life of the people of South Asia. India also is one of the part of South Asia. Increasing the pace of economic growth, mutual assistance and cooperation in areas like agriculture, scientific development, etc., promoting social progress and cultural development. It was made clear from the very beginning that no member state would interfere in the internal affairs of another. Only those matters would be discussed which concerned all the member states. After the formation of the SAARC, a number of summits were held. Each summit undertook several specific programs. Those are the South Asian Preferable Trade Agreement SAPTA, Preferable Trade Agreement between the countries regarding its exports and imports. India hosted the first festival of the SAARC countries in 1992. Many artists, musicians, and dancers from all the SAARC countries participated in the festival. The first trade fair was held in New Delhi in the year 1996. Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, and India participated in the fair. Means almost all our neighboring countries are participated in this fair. So that is purely related to the economic and social development of the South Asian countries. This is your textbook activity, children. The number of union territories along the western and eastern coast, you have to find out these all questions. All are there in your textbook only. Open the textbook, read carefully and write the answers and show it to me. And you know this, before 1947, there were two types of states in India. One is provinces under the direct rule of the British government, and another one is princely states. Princely states are kings, hereditary form of ruling. Princely states were ruled by local hereditary rulers who acknowledged sovereignty in return for local autonomy. Children, these all are different names of one country. Jambudvipa. So whenever we enter into temple, first Jambudvipe, Bhartakande. So they are using these words. Our country also named Jambu. Jambu means big. So it is a Dvip means island. This is a peninsular country. And Bharatavarsha. So because of Bharat king, we called as our country as a Bharatavarsha. And because of Indus Valley civilization, our country is called as India. And Hindustan, the place of Hindus, it's a majority of the country is filled with the Hindus, so that Hindu plus Stan, place of the Hindus, Hindustan. And also called as Nabi Varsha, and this is Aryavarta. So due to our decimal points and Aryabhatta, so our country also called as Aryabhatta. These are the many names for our country. So this is about our entire lesson, India size and location, children. Thank you very much. Hari Om. Stay home, stay safe and follow the videos carefully. Read your textbook thoroughly once or twice. If you are not able to understand, call me and I will clarify the doubts to you. Hari Om. Thank you.